Never in the history of the world have the merchants of obscenity had available to them the modern facilities for disseminating this filth. Disseminating this filth. The onslaught of the communist masters of deceit.
Pinko, Commie, Slutz.
Hello. Oh boy. Oh boy. I tried to get Lemoncello today. It's my big quarantine plan. I'm going to get some Lemoncello, make something. Guess what? Someone bought all the Lemoncello.
Make your own.
Yeah, I know. I was actually this close to asking you about it, but I was very disappointed because I had a very cute idea.
Yeah, you get a handle of vodka. You get the skins from 10 or so, 8 to a dozen lemons. Let it sit for 2 weeks. Then mix it with simple syrup until you like how it tastes.
I think that's what's going to happen. I was very, very sad. And Steve is here.
Hello.
Yes, Steve. I was just telling Marlo. I tried to go get Lemoncello, thinking I was going to have a cute drinking situation. They're sold out. Some other asshole got the same idea. They're sold out all the Lemoncello. I mean, I'm only willing to go across the street to the liquor store. So it's not like I went on a journey, but,
Vodka, lemons, and simple syrup. All you need.
All you need. Oh, boy.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yeah, exactly.
Marlo used to make limoncellos all the time.
Yeah.
I know, it's a great idea. Honestly, I should have already started a moonshine situation. Just had a full-blown bootleg situation over here.
I was wondering when this whole thing started, what the profit margin would be of just buying a thing of vodka and then divvying it up into small bottles and selling those as hand sanitizer.
But most vodka isn't strong enough as sanitizer.
Yeah.
I know this. I know this because Tito's tweeted about it quite a bit.
Fair enough.
Anyway, welcome to Pinko, Commie, Slutz, everyone. We're here still. This is our first post-candidate Bernie episode. We're all dealing with it very well.
I'm pretty happy. No, now I don't have to care.
It is a relief.
Whatever.
It is a relief. It is a relief. I kept saying to people, basically the choice is I could continue to take my own money and time and effort and call people and go canvass and do all these things and expend so much energy. Or now I can just maybe be convinced to send in a provisional ballot for November. So don't worry, everyone listening. I only vote in solidly blue states, so it doesn't make a difference. I am not even involved enough to be even that up on the down ballot situations where I currently live. It's interesting.
There were some down ballots in New York I kind of cared about. Here, I don't know anything that's going on. I kind of want to illegally switch my registration to Ohio and then not vote for Biden. Just
Oh, no, you're fully committed. I guess the jig is up, guys. We really, this whole thing was about getting 4 more years of Trump. At the shams open. I don't know, guys. I'm just... First of all, I don't know if any of you have noticed that the right-wing media has started to talk about Biden a little bit, make fun of Biden. And it just, everything I'm seeing, I mean, it's all lame because it's all fucking right-wingers and the Babylon Bee and stupid shit like that. But, I see it come across. There was one Babylon Bee that was Biden gets a specially made mask so he can sniff people's hair still, which I got to say for Babylon Bee is
Babylon
really
Bee has some hits.
They do have some hits. I gotta say,
Babylon Bee 100% has some hits. They're occasionally even a little self-deprecating, which is nice. Yeah, no, Babylon Bee is okay. It's better than most right-wing attempts at humor.
It for sure is. It for sure is. But yes, I saw that and I was like, oh, ha ha ha, that's right. The DNC, the establishment at large, is like completely unprepared. I think Steve and I are in a disagreement about this, but I'm pretty sure Biden's going to pick Kamala because I think his team is riding on this like idea that they could make an inverse Obama 2.0 situation with Kamala as VP, and that'll take care of all of these details they don't really want to focus on. I think they're that out of touch. I think they think Kamala being...
I think at best, AG, at best, Attorney General. As I said before, like, she's from a solidly blue state. Biden is racist. Biden's team presumes everyone else is racist. And Biden presumes that no matter who they pick for VP, the African-American community is going to vote for him anyways. So I understand from like this hyper woke perspective, like, you know, it really catered to people that would already vote for Biden. I think their theory is different. I think they're trying to nab suburban Republicans. And I think choosing Kamala Harris would lose those suburban Republicans more than gain them.
I don't know. I think Kamala has some weird appeal with people who do skew more conservative. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, it's just a picture in their head they're trying to match. You know, it's an inarticulate idea of a vibe they want for a ticket. And I feel like a lot of these people are stuck in the past. They can't see what's currently happening. I guess we'll see. I know Kamala did immediately start a fundraising effort that kind of indicates that she believes she's at least on the short list for a VP pick.
I think that's simply like California. Joe Biden is broke. Joe Biden needs money fast and bad. California is that purse that he's going to draw from, either from the Nancy Pelosi's or from the Kamala Harris. But like the ability for him to gain cash on hand really quickly is deteriorating by the day. And he's losing ground already. Did anybody else see that Trump ad against him?
Maybe.
There was a Trump ad that was hitting him on standing for China, which he has in the past, and also accusing him of being a corrupt family and really tying him to China and really playing on his relationship to China and corrupt backroom dealings and hitting him as a corrupt politician who's made horrible decisions for 50 years.
I mean, it literally was Trump's play the last time, so why not do it again?
That was my whole thing about Biden the whole time, was that Trump has an easy playbook.
Yeah, I mean, Trump has an extremely easy playbook with this situation. And like, I am so frustrated with this weird netherworld that I feel like we're in, where I'm being tasked to pretend like these things are so good and like Biden's such a strong candidate, like as if the only criticism you could have of him is rooted in some weird, Bernie obsession or whatever. Like, when the fact is he is offering less to people like me than even Hillary was offering in comparison. And at least she was a fucking woman. I got to be honest. At least she had some intangible social impact that she could theoretically offer. Biden doesn't even have that. And if he doesn't make any bold shifts, how can I make an argument to someone? Say I woke up tomorrow and wanted to fall in line with my Dems and et cetera, and I wanted to reach out to people who were historically don't vote, who haven't voted, right? I can't concoct an argument that would be compelling to any of these people. It's all based on the assumption that Trump won last time because of third-party voting or protest voting or whatever, which is just not true. And I refuse to even validate it a little anymore, especially since almost everyone I talk to doesn't live in a swing state at all. They're all just, masturbating with their smugness over it.
Isn't Biden's theory of the case being that Hillary lost because of sexism, and now he doesn't have to worry about that?
Right. So basically that a woman can't beat Trump?
Yeah, no, that's been Biden's case the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess either that or just the general intangibleness that, like, people have literally spent since 1992 hating Hillary Clinton for some reason.
Now they don't have that baggage.
Right.
And the idea is that Trump won't be able to amass that type of baggage on Biden in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I just don't know where these imaginary people are coming from. It just very quickly went from, oh, all of you Bernie people are just like nonsense and la la la, to suddenly we're so vital, but not vital enough for anyone to actually try to win us over. You know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Well, I feel like it's partisan betrayal. You know, if you're voting third party, then you're betraying the party and you're voting for Trump. And this kind of moralizing.
Yeah, no, that's all they really have. I mean, his only fucking argument he is making to anyone vaguely on the left is Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to die soon.
Which is delusional.
That's literally the only argument he has for
the man who put Clarence Thomas.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
is telling us that we need to trust him with the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's all they have for anyone on the left. For anyone else, it's this general back to normal bullshit. And I mean, honestly, I don't even think he's making a narrative. I think he's going to try and rely on an apocalyptic situation to just say, well, I have to win by default because the unemployment's at 30%, and that's insane. So I must win.
I am looking forward to the debates. Is anybody looking forward to the
it'll
debate?
be fine, I guess. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, honestly, as much as I believe women and everything right now, whenever I see Biden, it's not even like it inspires anger. It just makes me sad. Oh God, he making me sad.
No, not the Biden-Trump debate. The other Trump debate.
Yeah, well, Matt Christie.
Oh, yeah.
No. Don Jr. versus
Don
Hunter.
Jr. versus Hunter.
Yeah, that was Chrisman's idea, I think. But yeah, no, that would rock. Yeah, the actual Biden-Trump debate is going to be, I mean, it's going to be
incoherent. It's going to be incoherent at best.
Yeah, it's going to be like two old men who have never actually fought anyone in their lives, constantly like threatening to fight someone.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to end up threatening to like do an arm wrestling contest in the middle of the debate. I'm gonna meet you outside. Do you want to meet outside after the debate? We'll fight about it.
And like also Biden's gonna do like what my grandmother did and say that like Trump is full of soup instead of full of shit, and like like then that they're gonna start like selling like soup t-shirts and it's gonna be awesome.
Oh my God, that sounds fucking awful.
Yeah.
I'm here for it though. Like I'm gonna wear that soup t-shirt and I'm gonna dump soup on myself.
Yeah, it'll be then like some smarmy fucking Sorkin watching like MSNBC contributor is gonna like ask Biden, what did you mean by full of soup? And like Biden's going to like smirkily say, that's a thing we used to say back in Wilmington back in the day. And
I can see Chris Hayes doing that.
Like we're gonna all be like laughing because it's like he kind of almost said a curse word and he's old and that's cute. You know, that'll be it.
You know, there's not even like an auxiliary pleasure for me. It's not even like a fun person was doing Biden's impression on SNL. It's just like snooze fest. There's not a lot for me.
No, I'm looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to like Biden projecting this kind of masculinity that he had 30 years ago, but doesn't quite like has deteriorated over the decades. And Trump just being like wrong, no, just like one-liners. And he's like, you can't even like Trump will say, look, you can't even say a sentence. And he'll say that on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be like, you can't even string together a complete sentence. Why should you be president?
Yeah, no, and the best part, yeah, and the Democrats are going to like waste their time trying to actually refute that, and it's not going to work because it's going to sound defensive. The only way I think Biden can win is just on a pure, we're in a completely unprecedented catastrophe, and he ekes it out just because. But even that, like, yeah, sorry, if less than 250,000 people fucking die by the end of this, Biden's gonna lose. Like,
I don't know. It's, I mean, a lot seems predicated on just how many people are going to die. Oh, here's a fun story. If people are wondering what it's like in New York, a friend of mine texted me. She went to walk her dog yesterday, and she couldn't get out because a dead body was blocking the doorway because the ambulances were all full of other dead bodies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, they're already doing mass graves. It's oh boy.
How are you all doing though? Like I don't mean to be this guy every time, but how are you doing, Bunny? How are you doing, Marlo? We'll go over how I'm doing.
I'm hanging in there.
When's the last time you left your apartment?
Well, I do walk the dogs every day. So I do physically like leave the apartment and then like at least go outside. It's, but I haven't left I want to say 2-mile radius of my apartment in probably a month. That's including the few times I went to like get groceries or what have you. Yeah, but it is getting weird. I mean, I'm like adjusting to working from home full time. And as much as I would have liked working from home in a normal scenario, right now it's like, it's very irritating is how, but I feel incredibly lucky that I even have that as an option. It's definitely like a real happenstance thing for me. Marlo, you're with your parents.
Yep.
How's that?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I don't know. They're watching Ozarks. I'm not watching Ozarks. You know how parents are. Yeah, I haven't really gone anywhere since I got home. And it's a bit of a rote nightmare, but also I can be content by You're reading Kafka, as one does, reading some Luxembourg, gaming a bit, A Killer Queen, and what?
I've been reading Leon Trotsky's The History of the Russian Revolution.
Oh, cool. Picked up this new, essentially a really cheap indie German-made SimCity knockoff called Theotown. It's all right, but it has the date in the like day, month, year format, so that's annoying.
I've moved camps. Ariel and I have moved into her company's studio.
Okay.
Which is fucking sweet. I'm in Dumbo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Her company isn't using the studio, so her boss was like, just stay as long as you want. So we came here like 3 days ago, and we've been living it up in Dumbo.
Cool. To all the places that are not open.
It's eerily quiet over here. We're next to like a nuclear power plant and a mansion.
Okay. Yeah.
But I like it. It's decently apocalyptic and close enough to my still steady, very overwhelming job that I have that I keep every day.
Steven the hero, baby.
Steven the hero.
Yep.
Triple the amount of money I was making before this.
Yep.
an essential hero.
I hate that shit so.
I know you do.
I hate it.
What's fun is that I used to work for Instacart, and I kind of stopped working for them acrimoniously because they are a shitty company that sucks, and they were constantly stealing my money because they had this weird way that they would even out. If you met a certain threshold, they wouldn't pay you anything, but if you didn't meet this certain threshold, they'd make up the difference. But what would happen is you'd have a slow day, and then you'd have a busier day where you might have gotten like some big tips, and then those big tips would just
evaporate.
Yeah, they just fill in for the slow day, essentially. So it was like you didn't do anything, like you didn't get any bonus, you know. And I actually got money in a settlement with Instacart. It was a class action thing. I got like $100, but they've been emailing me nonstop. Come back to work for Instacart. We need you. We need you.
Oh,
and I'm
God.
like, they're allowing for all of these terrible practices. People are allowed to change their tips after. So people will think they're getting some like really great tip. And then
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They lure the customer in and then change the tip afterwards, right?
Yeah. It's so gross.
As diabolical.
Apparently, Tara Reid just filed a criminal complaint over the 93 allegation.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just looking at the Business Insider story now.
Will that gain any traction amongst those who say he's not a rapist?
Probably not.
Probably not, but I don't think it'll make a difference for the people who are very comfortable not believing a woman if it serves their political aims. I do, however, think that it'll get more attention now because I guess the media didn't feel like it was okay to report on it when Bernie was still in the race.
Oh, yeah.
So now it'll get more attention and end up helping the Republicans because they obviously don't care about sexual assault really, but they'll absolutely use anything and everything.
They'll at the very least dig their heels in on any accusation of Trump, and it'll blunt it further, more so than Bill Clinton being a rapist did last time. I mean, a very good friend of mine is having like some PTSD getting triggered over that, so I guess it matters to her. But yeah, I don't know if it's like ultimately. I mean, it didn't fucking stop Trump the last time when the Democrats did. I guess it'll be funny or triggering depending on who you are to hear Democrats say, well, why'd she wait so long to file a crime?
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
That's going to be awesome.
It's so gross. It's so gross.
That's
It's so
literally going to
gross.
happen.
I did run into somebody who was giving me a lot of rape apologetics over it. And I was like, did you say this same stuff around
Kavanaugh.
And he was like, yeah, I did. And I was like, okay, so you're just someone who's a rape apologist. Here's the thing is that a lot of people don't even know what that really means. So like, I just want to put it out here right now. If you require proof, quote unquote, of the assault, you are engaging in rape apologetics. Like you are not on the side of victims if that's the angle you're immediately coming from, because it one shows that you have no awareness that the entire justice system is not set up with victims of sexual assault in particular in mind at all. There is no way to prove most assault. And acting like it's a fair barometer is protects rapists, essentially. But yeah, I was shocked to see how many people very easily use the same exact criticisms that were aimed at Dr. Ford for this, who had been defending Dr. Ford with the Kavanaugh hearing. I mean, obviously, most famously, Alyssa Milano. Ugh. I don't know. I mean, I will give some people, I guess, credit. I don't know if that's the appropriate thing, but some people are fine with saying, yeah, I believe women. He is a rapist, but I'm still going to vote for him.
Yeah, no, that's the calculation.
And being that is an option, I don't understand going so hard with the rape apologetics, really.
Which one is the least rapist?
at least if you're saying, yes, I believe women still, but I'm going to vote because et cetera, so forth. At least you're consistent on something that's important. Arguably, having to have this situation be the exception to the rule because you can't experience the cognitive dissonance of voting for a predator, which guess what, you already have. It's more lame to me personally in some way. I don't know what to do.
I encountered the whole, why did it happen? Why did she come forward so late? This lessens the chance that Trump gets out of office, kind of moving the goalposts. And it seems like people who genuinely want Trump out of office for partisan and personal reasons really defensively kind of like squaring a circle. That's difficult when it comes to something as abstract and impersonal as politics. And this is something I think about all the time. The impersonality of politics is taken so personally. Like neoliberalism has engineered us to think about these very impersonal things like partisan politics, presidential politics in this very personal way. And to impersonalize it and say that, well, it's the lesser of two evils, which is their argument, kind of doesn't square the circle of politics is all based on personal issues or personal like principles. Because neoliberalism is based on this idea that you need to base your politics on these personal preferences, personal life experiences. You know, it's all like this privatization of stress. And if you're stressed out by Donald Trump, and if you're like personally feeling attacked at all moments by Donald Trump, then you need to vote against Donald Trump. And that personalness is like completely against the idea of impersonal politics, of partisanship that's like thrust upon us by superstructures, etc., institutions.
I think you're right. I think it's like a superficial taking it personally. We do right now have a lot of people who are like experiencing in the past 4 years a discomfort that they have never experienced before. Not sympathy, but I can understand that is some people's experience. So the degree with which it
was always the experience, though. That's the thing. It was always the experience, was that it was uncomfortable to vote for the lesser of two evils for people who had a fucking critical mind.
Well, that's the thing. People don't have critical minds about this, and you have this simultaneous like encouragement of taking it personally, superficially, but then this real resistance to grounding the discussion in reality, in the material conditions. I keep running into a lot of times when I'm discussing this with people who are disagreeing with me somewhat, they make this assumption like I've got no skin in the game. Like all of this is hypothetical to me. I have it's an intellectual fancy exercise for me to be engaged in leftist politics, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas in reality, nothing else offers me anything. Like I don't get anything. Me, the person, the individual whose vote people want, supposedly, I have to advocate for myself. And that's really weird to have to impress upon people that like, this is real and I am talking about real things and things that matter.
But at the end of the day, they don't have a skin in the game. They're not making any argument based on any material idea of this will affect A, B, and C and help these people. They're making a pure argument that has as much like fucking meaning as whether the Eagles are objectively better than the Giants or what have you. They just feel better with their guys around, and that feels normal for them, and they want things to be normal again. Well, anyway, to highlight your point, this tweet I found, which your point reminded me of, from some dumbass on Twitter. We need better policy. We need drastic change. We need trickle-up economics, but not right now. We want comfort, truth, and safety, even if it's an illusion. That's what we'll choose. That's why we love Cuomo. That's why Biden is better than Bernie for now. You know, like, he's literally with a completely straight face saying he wants truth, even if it's a lie. And we're the babies for not giving that to him. I mean, it's
delightful.
But yeah,
it's mask off. It's as Isaac would say. It's taking the mask off.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of masks
speaking of
off,
which,
this week.
Guess who has some fucking dancing bear masks now?
What?
Yeah, my mom ordered a bunch of like dancing bear masks because it's.
Ladies, welcome to the all-new Dancing Bear Review. Let's go!
I just made masks out of old T-shirts because I have some basic sewing skills. I mean, I did a very shoddy job, but it serves its purpose.
I just saw this goddamn commercial for Papa John's, which, like, I don't know how, I guess advertising agencies are essential businesses because they've been making commercials.
They have.
Like, most of them, I guess, aren't using any new footage, although I think I've seen a UPS ad that, like, definitely had some footage that they shot specific to this scenario. This one, like, was mostly just voices and, like, video edits, so I think they could have probably gotten away with just making it at their houses. But it says, from our 450-degree oven until it gets into your hands, no human touches your pizza, and also ask about contactless delivery, which is, you know, ghoulish that they're making these pandemic-specific commercials. It's also ghoulish that Papa John's is bragging that they only cook their pizzas at 450 degrees because that's the dumbest goddamn thing on earth. I made my pizzas at 500 degrees because that's as high as my oven goes. The reason you get a pizza oven, though, is because it usually goes up to 800 degrees, and you like to cook your pizza between 700 and 800 degrees. That's the entire point of having a pizza oven. That's why pizzas from pizzerias are just, you know, you can get good ingredients and get fancy and all that, but you're never going to have pizza oven quality pizza because your oven doesn't get as hot. And here they are bragging that they only cook their pizzas at 450 degrees for their fucking ghoulish goddamn pandemic commercial. I don't know why you're bragging about making pizza wrong. Just don't say anything. Just say, like, from the time it goes into our oven until the time it gets in your hands, because...
You know what? That's good advice, like, in a lot of ways. There's so many opportunities to just don't say anything.
Yeah, if you take anything from this podcast, you want to cook pizza as hot as possible, as hot as your oven goes. If your oven goes to 500, cook it at 500.
I'm trying to decide if this is more inviting than the chess rants or less.
It probably is. I would imagine it has to be.
No, I've been noticing an uptick in pandemic-specific advertisements. I have a rant, which is that I'm a quote-unquote essential worker, a.k.a. somebody who needs to work or starve.
A.k.a. a hero.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
Next week we're gonna sing the song "Hero" at you, Steve.
No.
Wait,
we need a hero. Yeah, but the version from
wait. I thought you were talking about the Enrique
one?
Iglesias.
Oh, that
No,
would
the
also be
Nickelback
good.
one. Oh.
All of them.
Hero
I'm gonna spend the next week making I'm gonna make a medley of those hero songs. I'm gonna rehearse it with Marlo.
Nickelback or was that like
We're gonna
We
do
just,
it.
as long as it doesn't include the Frey song about.
Well, we're going to include it now. None of us have heard of the Frey.
Because I watched the Andrew Cuomo press conference today, and it included a bunch of New Yorkers stuck in their houses, montaged against the phrase, whatever the song is. I don't even know.
Oh, okay, so Hero is a Nickelback song, but My Hero and another song called Hero were written by the Foo Fighters. So that covers us for post-grunge.
Okay, so my rant is about me going out to, I think it was Carroll Gardens. I knocked on the door of a rich boomer house with a very large door at a brownstone. And these people were very excited to see me. Coincidentally, at the same time as 7 o'clock essential worker clap minute happened.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And there was a chorus of claps happening all around. And the people inside were very excited. They were getting their computers and phones to like capture the moment of this minute-long clap for the essential workers. And I looked at them, and they were like, whatever you want to call, like, they're large boomers who then looked at me and said, "We don't have any cash." And I walked off their brownstone to a choir of claps.
Yeah.
and felt this wonderful feeling of being validated in all my views about the rich.
Yeah.
It is a nice moment when they are exactly who you thought they were.
And I'm in full like double mask. I have 2 masks going on when I'm at work. I have one mask that's like this medical mask, and then I have one mask that my mom gave me that's like a mask that's pink but has all the hands that are clasped together like we're all friends. And I'm also fully gloved up. Like, I can't go to work without all these precautions put in place. And to walk away and hear all the clapping in my full pandemic garb, made me feel good about communism. Like, and we haven't talked about communism in this episode yet, but I feel like on one hand, very certain about the future of communism in this country, but also like it will never happen. On one hand, I feel like the acceleration towards a capitalism that will inevitably collapse is in front of us. But at the same time, I feel like it's a receding horizon. It's it's completely in this deferral state of like debt and excuses that are entirely encapsulated in every Andrew Cuomo like press conference.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Capitalism is gonna like continue to try and change and defend itself, but ultimately, that's the thing.
Capitalism, not only are people literally invested in capitalism, etc., but capitalism itself as an idea seeks to exist. So it's, at least I feel that's a good way to think about it, to depersonalize it so much. Like, capitalism is, kind of the original, an original meme, like in the Dawkins definition of it. It wants to get into people's minds and replicate itself. And all the arguments for its justifications exist like that. They are designed to feel good to people who are a little bit comfortable. I think what we're getting to is where reality is becoming so conflicting with those stories that even people who've been suffering have swallowed and internalized that, you know, I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but it seems like there's going to at least be an disinvestment in what we've all been told on a massive scale.
Do you have any predictions?
Now that you ask, because I am the woo-woo part of this podcast, I will say a very fun thing is that several woo-woo people I know kind of predicted this situation. Not now that I know there's some people out there with like some nonsense, but I actually know someone personally who said to me, and she's a woo-woo person. She said she felt like some sort of sickness type thing was going to come in February. She said this like last year offhand. We were just talking about weird meditation messages and things like that. And so that's been pretty rad to kind of, you know, anytime something like that happens, I enjoy it. It doesn't prove anything one way or the other. But the woo-woo people, as opposed to like the conspiracy people who are more in the QAnon situation, the woo people have a very positive outlook on all of this disruption and collapse. And it's not... some of them are dipping into some weird eco-fascism, which kick it in the teeth. Humans are not the virus, guys. It's stupid. But some of them are, in terms of our economy and how everything works, it requires that the masses believe in it to a certain degree. We have to believe that money is real in order for everything to work. We have to believe that, oh my God, it's so, you have to pay this bill or else, right? Like there's people who have to believe that, and that's how things work. But now we're dealing with a situation where it's becoming very clear that a lot of that is not fundamentally true. Just like a lot of what's happening now shows just how incredibly affordable Medicare for all would be. I think a lot of people, and it's not going to be people that necessarily you expect or even are coming from any kind of political minded background or analysis. I think there's going to be a lot of people questioning the fundamental like structures of things in a way that's going to be positive, because I think it's just going to be too clear that this doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make any sense. And I felt like a crazy person for a fucking, decade and a half, feeling like I'm an idiot over here saying, this doesn't make sense, actually. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't, not just, it's not fair, but it's flawed. Like, it doesn't even work how it's supposed to work. And it hurts people. And it's, endangers us. I just think the gap between, like, wealthy people who are naive about everything and working people who are being impacted the most, it's going to be somewhat undeniable, And I do want to shout out my girl Lady Gaga for being a not totally shitty celebrity in this situation. There's been a lot of make this video. We all made fun of Gal Gadot and the Imagine video. So Gaga raised a bunch of money and et cetera, and donated a bunch of supplies. But she did it in a way that was really subtly shading these other celebs, because she kept bringing up the working women out there who are single moms who lost their job, who blah, blah, blah. She kept bringing up, real people that this is impacting and how do you get help literally directly to them. And, I think we're going to see some more people framing it in that way, but we're going to have to deal with a lot of nonsense, a lot more stupid clapping and meaningless gestures. But
I just feel like this is actually a fundamental challenge to, at the very least, capitalist realism, in a way that I don't think there was another event in our lifetime did. 9/11 had the general neoliberal capitalist responses, which was exactly what we did. There's no clear way that works anymore. There's no one you...
What separates this from 9/11, though?
Because there's
no human enemy. Yeah, there's no human enemy. We are humbled.
The failure has arisen essentially from things that we were told we got this covered. Oh, no, we don't have this covered at all.
It's a humbling experience because a lot of, I think, what we've been told before is predicated on the idea that, oh yeah, we know all of the threats we're facing and we know what to prioritize, but even the very concept that there might be something that we never knew about that could be so damaging, even that alone is unsettling for a lot of people right now. Even if they're completely disconnected from they haven't lost anyone, they're not really having any personal difficulties. I think the very idea that something like this could occur is paradigm shifting for a lot of people who felt very safe, and now I am concerned that it'll turn into a weird skewed germophobia that's not grounded in reality. I'm already seeing it a little bit. Please, again, don't bathe your groceries. Anyway.
And if you have to blame a ethnicity for this, I don't know, Albanians, they've had it.
Yeah, fuck Albanians, man. Full disclosure, I'm a Greek.
Listen, System of a Down would disagree.
Those are Armenians, but I encourage our
Armenians
listener
are fine
to make these malapropisms. Yes, confuse Armenians for Albanians. They love it. It's great.
Oh.
Anyway, also, I just had the idea that maybe we could play out on Chad Kroeger of Nickelback's Heroes, so then we can break out as that podcast that got sued by Chad Kroeger from Nickelback.
No, we don't want to get sued by.
Okay, fine. That was just a thought, Matthew.
Look, Marlo's thinking correctly. He's trying to get us to the next level here.
We were those guys who got
sued
by Nickelback for some reason. That's
great.
No, I think that Bunny's proposition of people being more conscientious of things like class and things about their security and safety is well taken, but at the same time, I feel like it's going to swing in the other direction.
The defeats of today are the build our victories of today.
Right, but I feel like the end result of this, if there is a end result, is a form of state capitalism, which we already had, but is much more like mask off state capitalism.
I mean, honestly, most likely the end result of this is things are going to go back to quote unquote normal. Yeah, that's going to suck, but I don't think
we're ever going back to normal.
Yeah. I don't think you can take back what has happened.
No, 60,000 to 100,000 people are going to die.
And we fundamentally had essentially a general strike, even if it was accidental, take place.
We should wrap up, but I will say that it made me extremely mad this week that I had a thing removed from Facebook simply for joking that I would vote for whoever killed the current president. That's obviously a joke. That's not how it works. Also, you'd have to presume that somebody out there is listening to me specifically, and that person is Joe Biden, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not, guys. I'm just saying.
I got in trouble for saying, well, not for me personally saying, but for somebody in a group that I moderate said that they hoped that Joe Biden got COVID. And it was a group that Marlo and I both moderate. And we were contacted saying, why don't you moderate this and censor this person? And
correct.
What?
Because it's correct to hope that. Yeah, no, that's not a joke. I do hope that. But, yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to wish ill on people.
Yeah, I know, exactly. No, and it was couched in this, if Joe Biden gets it, he'll be dead, and it's a death wish. And I know the person who's listening right now that is mad right now. Sorry, but the internet is not real.
Yeah, we just lost a fifth of our listener base.
Which is Pete. Oh, by the way, Pete had his vote suppressed.
Yeah.
Pete Yeah, shout out to Pete. He had his absentee vote repressed by the GOP, deciding that absentee votes were to be thrown out. And, you know, Wisconsin is like whatever. But also, fuck the GOP in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
fuck Scott.
Fuck the DNC and whatever the fuck state came before Wisconsin. I don't even...
No, but it sucks to have his, like, vote, like, cast and told that it doesn't count. I mean, it's like a white man feeling what it means to be oppressed.
I mean, it just sucks when they absolutely confirm that your vote doesn't count.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
it's
like, you know, we all like to live in a little fantasy there.
Mask off.
We're doing good.
Oh, I see. Hashtag why I'm voting for Joe is trending, so that's fun.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Hashtag Howie Hawkins.
What?
Green Party, baby.
Yeah, I'm probably going PSL this time around, but we'll see.
DSL?
Yeah, Party of Socialism and Liberation. You know, they're Stalinists, but yeah, whatever. I'm pissed. I'll regret it when they win and throw me in a duel.
It's also, we have 7 months before the general election. It's like the earliest a primaries ever ended. So, you know, look, no matter what I do in November, I've got a copious amount of time to bitch and complain and pretend I'm going to do all kinds of shit. Convince me. Convince me.
And you can die in a helicopter accident.
Exactly. Anything is possible. We're online. We're on the internet. You can join our Patreon. We're going to have a bonus soon, I guess. I have some ideas.
It'll be
Marlo
ranting about chess.
Yeah, just chess content. I'd love for us to become like a niche podcast that like chess aficionados listen to, but only for like the minute and a half that's about something about chess.
Scandinavian defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
anyway, we're online. It's Pinko Commie Slutz. You can find us on Twitter at Pinko Slutz. I'm Bunny Themelis at Bunny Themelis.
I'm at Pinko Steve.
I'm Marlo. Don't find me.
No,
don't find Marlo.
What's your at?
Nah.
Marlo's forever mysterious. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
And
Bye.
Maybe we'll have aliens by the time we get to the next episode. That's my hope and dream for all of us in America, that we'll make contact with extraterrestrials in an undeniable way.
It's more likely than full communism.
That's right. So let's play the odds. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Kind of. God damn it, my dog.
Hey, sis.
Shut up.
Keep it in, Matt.
Shut up. I didn't. I opened.
Where's your dog?
Bye.
Where's Levon?
He's downstairs watching Ozarks with my parents.
Oh yeah, you got a good dog.
He's like one of those fancy ass like golden doodles who just sleeps like 22 hours a day and then spends like 2 hours a day trying to get you to like play tug of war with him. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, I can't complain about my living situation. That's for sure.
Yeah.